the options we can use to move the databases from one environment to another environment. If it is a database level, like we can back up and or like regular view, then we can use the import export option. Any other object like a script generation, again this option is available for entire database or individual database objects. Objects means tables, views, triggers, stored procedure, functions, everything we can call it as a database object. Using script generations, we can use it for all the database objects. But when it comes to the import export only work for tables and views. Attach, detach, and backup restore. These two options work for entire database. Okay. And the final one is that copy only. So, so nobody prefer to use this option in real-time environment. So using the copy option, we can copy the multiple databases at a time. I mean, move the multiple databases at a time from one environment to another environment. Okay, we'll see that copy only, and once complete that, then we'll go with the new topic, data file movement method. Okay, let's get started with copy only option. So again, here I want to use Node 1 server and Node 3 server. And Node 1 server, we have DBA Test 1 and DBA Test 2 databases. So these two databases, I want to move to Node 3 server using copy only option. Let me clear this sessions. For doing that one, so we have to go to the source server. Source means here Node 1 server and target is Node 3. So go to source server and select the database, right click and go to task. There we can see the copy only option, copy database. Click next and it will automatically detect the server name and then click next. Then second, in the second window, we have to specify the destination server. So destination server name is Node 3 SQL Server 2016. Node 3 SQL Server 2016. Okay, and click next, and then click next. So this is the important window. Here we'll get the all the databases information. So here we have to select we need to select the databases. Here I want to select two databases. In these two databases, I want to move from Node 1 server to Node 3 SQL server.
Mallesh, your
Select the
voice is breaking
databases
in the middle.
and click next. And here, okay, seems to be my internet little slow from last 1 week. Give me a moment, Candy. So let me change the internet connection. So I think will work now better. So still, if you have the same kind of problem, please let me know. Okay, so let me. Okay, we are discussing about copy only option to move the databases from one server to another server. So for that, for doing that one, we have to go to the source server and right click on the database, go to task, and then click the copy database option, and then click next, and then it will automatically detect the source server because we are in the source server. So here we can see that Windows authentication and SQL authentication. Just go with the Windows authentication. If we have a separate account, then we have to specify the username and password. Okay, so here I'm using the Windows authentication mode and click next. And here we need to specify the target server or destination server. Destination server name is Node3 SQL Server 2016. So that is our target server. To this server we are migrating, we are moving the databases. And then click next. And no need to do anything here. And then click next. And here we need to select the databases. Here I want to select two databases. So using this method, more than one databases we can select and we can move from one server to another server. So here I'm selecting two databases, DBA test1 and DBA test2, and click next, and it will automatically detect the data file names. If you want, you can also change the file location here, the destination server, and the same location as exists, you can go with that. Okay, and click next, and it will. This is for the second database, and click next. And again, here we can see the other server level objects, packages, endpoints, SQL Server agent jobs, user defined error messages, store procedure from the master database. So packages, endpoint, user defined errors, server agents, so those we will discuss in the later classes. So if you want to move packages or jobs, anything, then we have to select. But in this server, I think I don't have any jobs or any other objects. Okay, if you want to move, then select those, or else you can ignore and then click next, and click next. File save. I think for doing this one, we require the save file save. Let me use the. Okay. So that's mean, so here we need to specify the network folder name. This is the shared network folder. That means everyone we can access from different servers. So when folder, like I mean, this folder is already a created shared folder. So we need to specify that because the data will be copied to this folder, and then from here it will copy to the target server. Okay. So later classes will see that how to put folder in network share. In the disaster recovery classes, we will know that how to put a folder in network share. So whatever folders are in network share, then that folder information we need to specify because we prefer copying the data from the source to this location, from this location to target server, it will copy, and click next. So no need to do anything here, and click next, and click finish. So if you want to create a network folder, I mean, if you want to put a folder in network share in Windows, let me show that. So just to go to the folder, properties, and click sharing and share. And here we can see that like what are the accounts we have. For whatever accounts you want to grant access, those accounts you can select it here. Okay, like I'm selecting everyone and sharing. So this is the way we can put the folder in sharing. So if the folder is sharing, it can be accessible from different devices. Okay. So now this folder, patch folder, is a network share. Okay, again, so in disaster recovery classes, we'll do the same. So I think it's failed. Event log. Job failed. Check the event log on destination server for details. Back. Okay, so the reason would be the file location. Go back to the step. So specify the destination server and click next. No need to do anything here. And then select the databases. I selected the test1 and test2. And configure destination database. So testdb1.mdf test, sorry, db test1.log.ldf. So this location, maybe I need to change it because this location is not existing in the target server. So for doing that one, go to the target server and find the location. In the target server, in C tab we have a data files folder. C data files. I'm using same path, same location. See, again, data files name is different. Data FLES.
Well, is it a typo?
Yeah. So because I created folder in that the same data FLES. I
Okay.
wrongly created, so I want
Okay.
to use the same. Okay, and click next and use the same path. Click next. I don't want to add it here anything and click next. I'm using the already updated the share path. Click next. No need to do anything here. I will see that. Let me go back to the. Sometimes even if it is failed, the databases will create. Anyway, here it's not created. Fine. And click finish. You'll see that it is failed. Check the event log on the destination server. Let me go to the Node 3 server. Go to the event log. Here we can see the error message. It is saying that, so here we can see that SQL Server schedule job CDWND fraud notice server 2016 failed, invoked on the message of failed, the job was in user. Okay, go back to the. Sometimes it's because of permissions as well, service account permissions. Go back to the node 1 server. Let me change the service account of agent service. Whenever we change the service account, we need to restart the services. Let me restart the agent services. And here, let me change the services as well. Because the anti-service MS SQL means these are the default accounts. These account uh, these account don't have enough permission to copy or moving the data between the servers. Okay, if you are practicing in local server, might it will work, but when it comes to the real-time environment, we have to use the domain account. It's not yet updated. Yeah. Let me update for agent services as well. It's my domain name, and then account name is admin, and then we have to enter the admin account password. Now restart after updating the password, service account password. We need to restart the services. Also restart the agent service. Okay, now go back to the source one. Let me run it now again. Go to back. Again, it failed. Stop transfer duplicate database, name it system, db test1. Okay.
Let's check if C data files has any data files in it. C data
Yeah,
file.
yeah, I'm checking that one. There is
So
no files here.
no.
No files in it. Stop transfer duplicate database, names and list. Yes. That is fine. Package name, just log.
Any issue with file share or network share?
Yeah, yeah, I'm back. It is in sharing.
And the first file is not changed, right? DB test one.
PP test one is to move copy the database source data. Configure database one to stop the transfer data or file with the same name as the set data. Stop any database in the database with the same. So
So we changed the source files as well, source files location as well.
no, we cannot change source file. So configure destination database. This is for destination database.
Can you go to the previous screen, the source screen? One more. Okay, okay.
So we selected the source
Oh,
and use the detached attach method. If message was to use this. Okay, let me use the second option. So here it is two options like use detach attach method. So it requires the database go offline. Let me change the copy method. Like here we have two methods to data transfer. One is detach attach method, and the second one is that this method using the SQL Server management object method. Let's try with this method. Selecting two databases and destination folder. Sorry. Sorry, it's not two, it's a three. And the second, do it for the second database. Let me try that. Well, I think it's again. Go to the event log. Do you think that so this it's saying that it is running with this account. So SQL Server isn't SQL Server because but we changed the service account. 2016 admin. Okay. So let's try the final options. Let me close this window and let me start new window. We'll see that it's working out, or else we can skip this now, and then I will spend some time on it, and then I'll get back to you on this. Let's start from the scratch task, and then copy database. Click next, and then server name is Node3 SQL Server 2016. Let's try it and select these databases. Seems to be working fine now this time. Yeah. Now DBA test 1 and DBA test 2 database is created. And here we can see the success status. So that's means, so why the problem is that because of so previously the server Node 3 server running with the default accounts. So the default accounts mean NT authority, local services, local account, NT service account. So these are the local accounts. So these are built-in accounts in the operating system. So when you're not specifying the service account during the installation, then the services will take the default accounts to run the services. So default accounts not have when the service is running with the default accounts as like NT authority, NT services account. These accounts don't have enough permission to communicate between the servers. So in our case, the problem because of this account, because we are conferring between the two servers, node 1 and node 3. So the communication should be happen between the two servers, but previously these services running with the local account. Okay, so but we didn't close the window. So but we are trying to use the same window, going to back and forth. So for the back and forth, that's the reason. So it's still using the old service account, and that's the reason it was failed. Okay. So that is the reason. So proper using these proper service accounts are very important. Again, service accounts information I need to update during the installation. Okay, but then coming to the topic. So using the copy only method. Using the copy only method, we can move one or more database at a time from one server to another server. But I never used this method in real time environment, and nobody suggested this method as well. So because it's taking the lot of time, because it's need to copy the data to the network share, and then from network share the data will copy to the destination server. So it's taking the long time to process. Again, in the during the copying process, if something goes wrong, again it will create a problem. So that is the reason. So nobody wants to prefer this option, and I never experienced using this feature in my experience. Okay, but still, if you want, you can use this option. Using this option, at a time, one or more databases we can copy. So that's mean we clear about how to move tables, how to move database objects. Objects means table, views, stickers, stuff. These are all we can call it as a database objects. We know that how to move the database object, how to move the database, and how to move databases, like using one or more, moving the one or more databases using copy only method. Okay, so always prepare backup and restore method. This is the traditional and recommended method. There is no risk at all using backup and restore method. Okay, so based on other situations, you can go with that detach attach, but it is not at all recommended. Okay, and table level. So table or views level, we can import, export, and other object like stored pages are again for tables, views, all kind of objects we can move using script generation option. Okay. So that's for data movement method. It is not a migration, just we are understanding what are the methods we have to copy or move the data from one server to another server, or maybe one environment to another environment. So we have a separate class for migration that I will discuss full-fledged migration procedure. Okay. So that's means so we completed data movement topic. The next topic is that data file movement. Okay, data file movement again. So we have it two procedures: one for user-defined databases, one for system databases. First, we'll go with the user-defined databases. Later, we'll discuss about system databases. Before that, so what kind of situations, what kind of requirements, what kind of situations we are getting this kind of request in real-time environment? Okay, so when we use the data file movement, so we already know that database contain the data files, and data files are located in the physically in the drives. Okay, if sometimes the drive is not functioning properly because of hardware problems or some other reason, if drive is not functioning properly, in that case, what we can do that we can move the files, whatever files are in the data files or raw files are in the particular drive, those files we can move to other drive. The second reason is that maybe if drive is completely full, there is no options or no, there is no feasibility to add more, maybe expand the drive size. So in that case also, we have to move some of the databases to free up the space in the particular drive. Okay. The third reason is that maybe somebody created the files in the wrong location. Usually our standard is that so all data files should be in the D drive. But unfortunately, one of the DB member created the data files on the E drive. Again, in that case, to making standards, we have to copy the files from again wrong location E drive to D drive. So these are the three situations mainly we'll get the data file movement task. Okay. So this maybe it will also applicable for user-defined databases as well as system databases. First, we'll see the user-defined databases. Then we'll see about system databases. Okay. So let me. So I just want to use the same server Node 3. So we'll use the TestDB database. Maybe okay, it has multiple files. Let's go with the sample DB. Okay, it has only two files, file 1 and file 2. Okay, so this database we'll use it for this demo. And let me create a one more location in C drive. But I don't have multiple drives for this operating system. I have only one drive. So currently data files are in data file location. So I'm creating assume that D drive data files. Okay. So what we need to do that we need to copy the files from the data file location to D drive data files. Assume that this folder exists in the D drive, but for this demo, I don't have any apart from C drive, I don't have any other drive, so I have to use this folder. Okay. Now go back to the database, sample database. The first step is that so our requirement is that this database file we need to move from current location to new location. So that is our task. This task we can call it as a database file movement. Okay. The first step is that we need to identify the sample database, the database current file location. Okay. For that we can use the SPN score health file. So this is the current file location. Here we can see that this is logical name, then this is the physical path and physical file name. Okay, physical path and file name. So we need to note these two information, logical name as well as physical path. Take a notepad. Sorry. That's the logical name and this is the physical path. So it contains 5 steps. This task contains 5 steps. So this is the first step. Note the logical file names and physical path. Once complete this step, the second step is that we need to bring the database offline. That is the second step. For bringing the database offline, go to task and click take offline. If you want to use the command is alter database name set offline. So that is the command for bringing down the database offline. Click OK. Now this database is offline. This is the second step. The third step is that we need to copy the physical files from current location to new location. Currently files are located in this location. Go to this location. Here we can see that sample and sample offline. So what we can do that we can control C or control X and paste into the new location. So new location here I want to use D drive data files. Copy into this location. Both file, data file, log file, both file we need to copy. Once copied, so this is called as third step. First step is like finding the file location. The second step is bringing the to onto the database in offline. The third step is copying the files, physical files from current location to new location. So once complete this step, then the fourth step is that we need to update the new file location information in the master database. We already knew that all the files information in the all the database files information in the master database. So we have to update the sample database, new data file, log file information in master database. Okay. So take a new query in the master database. So we have to use the command. We cannot do it through GUI mode. So we have to use this is the command to updating new file information in master database. So here this database contains two files. So we have to update the new location information for these two files. So database name is sample the logical name. Here we need to update the logical name, that is sample again, and file name new path is the data path. So this is the new path, and file name is sample.mdf. Log file name is, and the new location is cdata d drive files, and logical name is simple log. Okay. So this command we need to execute on the master database. Alter database name, that is the database name sample, and modify file equal to new name equal to logical name. This is the data file logical name. File name equal to new path we need to update, and then master MDF file information we need to update here. The same thing we need to do it for the LDF file. Alter database name, modify file equal to name equal to logical name, file name equal to new path, and then and physical file name with extension. So this we need to execute. This is the fourth step. Okay, now sample DB database file information, new location information updated in master database. The final step is that bring the database online. Right click, bring online. If you want to use the command alter database name, set online. So that is the command for bringing the database online. Okay. Now the database is online and we can see the all the information. And if you want to look the file location, file information for sample DB, take a new query on the sample DB, select the database and type control N and type sp_l file. Now we can see that new files are now with these database files are pointing to C drive, C D drive data files location. Right? So these are the 5 steps we need to use to move the files from one location to another location. Okay. So these 5 steps are applicable for only the user-defined databases. We should not use these steps for system database. We have to follow the different approach. Clear?
Malesh, one question here. So, can we move only two MDF files or two data files, leaving other files like LDF in one location, and can we move only two files?
Yes, we can do that. Move that. Like for example, if you just want to move only the data file, not the log file, so then no need to update the information for log file. So
Okay,
we
for
can
this
only
thing
do
also
it.
we need to keep offline database and offline application
Yeah.
downtime.
Yes, like even if you want to move single file or multiple files or all the files, we require the downtime. We require the downtime for only the particular database, not for other databases. We can do all kind of operations on other databases.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay, and before doing this kind of operations, we should follow the change process, and we have to get the approval from the application owner. So that's for the user defined databases. And then next one is the system databases. Again, when it comes to the system databases, we have to use the different approach for master database and a different procedure for remaining databases. Model, MSDB, MDB, resource DB, we have to follow one approach, and master database we have to follow the different approach. First, we'll see the master database, how to move the master database data files. Okay. Later, we'll see model, MSDB, temp, and resource DB. So again, when you want to move the master database data files, we have to follow the 5 steps. First step is that identifying the current or existing master database file location. For doing that, take a new query on the master database, SPM score health file, and note the logical name and then physical path. So when you're doing for system databases, we require the instance wise, server wise downtime. Okay, we need to stop the entire server, so we require the downtime for all the databases, or maybe we can call it entire server for entire server. Okay. The first step is that identifying the current master database data file, logical name, and then physical path information. So we have to know that. Once complete this step, so then go to the configuration manager and go to service. So SQL Server 2016 service, go to properties, and click the startup parameters. In the startup parameter, we can see 3 different parameters or maybe path. So here D indicates one with start with D, one start with E, one start with L. D for data file location, L for log file location, and E for error log. Okay, so here we need to update data file and log file path. Currently it is in C program files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL 13, this location. So I want to change to D C D drive data files. Okay, copy the path and go to properties and click the data file, and here don't remove C, a D, and update the new path. Okay, updated the new path. Don't remove the D parameter. D drive D drive data files master.mbf. And once update the path, click update option and do it for the log file. So data file and log file, I want to put same location. Again, don't remove L. And update. Okay, that means we updated the new path information. And click apply and click OK. Okay, this is second step. So the third step is that we need to stop the instance, because we need to copy the physical files. Stop the instance. If instance stop, so we cannot access any database. That means we require the downtime for all the databases. So this is the first finding the master database files information. The second step is that updating the new path using the configuration manager. The third step is stop the instance. And the fourth step is that we need to copy the physical files from current location to new location. We already know the current location path. And copy master and master log file. Control X. I'm moving to C drive data files. So this is the fourth step. Once complete this step, then start the services. Service is restarted and connect the server. We already connected, just refresh and then verify the location information. Take a new query and type SPN score. It should point to the CD drive data files. Right? These are the 5 steps we need to use it for master database. The first step is that finding the location. The second step, we need to update the new location information using the configuration manager. We don't have any other option. We have to use the configuration manager. The third step is that stop the instance. And fourth step is that copying the files from the current location to new location. And then fifth step is that start the services and validate new location information, validate the files information, file path information. Right, so these are the 5 steps we need to do it for master database. And as I said, then we have other system database model MSDB, TMDB, research DB. So we can use the same procedure for remaining 4 system databases. Now we'll do it for the model database first, then after that we'll do it for other databases. So the first step is that again, so we'll do it for model DB now, and take a new query, select the database and control N. So it will open new query window and use the SPN score help file. Find the note the physical path information. Once note this information, the second step is that so we need to update the new location model database new location information in the master database. We already know the command for that. Take a new query on the master database, and here we need to, so the first step is that finding the information. The second step is that update the model database new data file and log file location. Model, and you already know the logical name and the physical path. Excuse me. That is the data file logical name, and we want to use the C drive data files. Okay, and update the new path. Here we have to carefully update, or if we wrongly updated, the query will fail to execute. So we have to ensure to use the update the right information. Okay. We completed for data file. Database name is model. Data file logical name is model dev, and we updated the new path. Do it for log file. Log file logical name is model log, and physical file name is also same. Alright, so we updated clearly. So now execute it. So this is second step. The third step is that stop the SQL Server instances. For all, like even if you do for master model, MSDB, temp, or resource DB, we require the server level downtime. But when it comes to the user defined database, on which database you want to do that, only we require downtime for only the particular database. When it comes to the system databases, we need to take the entire server, instance or server wise downtime. Okay, so now we are in model, we are moving the model database. The first step is that finding the file location, file path, and the second step is that updating the new location information in the master database, and the third step is that stop the instance. So that is the third step. Fourth step is that we need to copy the physical files, model and model log, control X, and copy into the new location. This is the fourth step. Okay, so the final step is that start the services. And refresh, services restarted, and take a new query and model DB and verify the new file path information. Now we can see that the new path, the files are pointing to the new location, new files. So the same steps we can do it for MSDB, ResearchDB. We can also do it for TempDB, but so when it comes to the TempDB, physical files, no need to copy it. Even if you copy, that should be fine. Even if you don't copy the physical files, there is no issue for TempDB, because whenever SQL Server restarted, TempDB files will automatically created with the default size. So that is the reason no need to copy the physical files. Even if you copy, there is no issue. Even if you not copy, there is no issue. Okay, so the same whatever steps we are following for model DB, the same steps we can apply for MSDB, resource DB. Now we'll see the TempDB. Now we'll do it for the TempDB. Okay, because in the TempDB it's an optional, like copying the files from current location to new location. So let's do it for model DB. So now again, so here we can use this option to select the database. Here I'm selecting the TempDB. Now this window is pointing to the TempDB. So the first step is that finding the TempDB logical names and physical path. That is the first step. So once complete the first step, the second step is that we need to update the TempDB file new location information in the master database. TempDB and TempDB dev data file name is tempdev, and physical file name is tempdb.mdf, and we are using the CD drive data files. Okay, so update the new information for log file, and the database name is tempdb, and update the log file physical file name. So this is the second step. See data file and execute. So once complete that one, so we can directly restart the services. No need to copy the physical files, because we updated the TempDB file information, new location information in the master database. When restarting the SQL Server services, so TempDB will go to the TempDB will identify the master data file information, and whatever location in the master database file, master database, on the particular location, the files will automatically created. Okay. So now go and restart the services, SQL Server services. I'm clicking restart. Okay, services has restarted. So now verify the take a new query on the TempDB database and verify the file information. Now we'll see that TempDB is pointing to the new location information. Right, so you might get TempDB file movement and master database file movement questions in interview point of view, because they'll ask that how we can move the master database file location from one location to another location, or maybe they can mainly ask for TempDB. Right? So this is called database file movements from one location to another location. I hope you understand. So if you're clear about it, then if you go to the front end,
Malesh, one
yeah,
one one point. So we haven't moved the files, right? Physical files we haven't moved for TempDB. So
correct.
TempDB automatically got it from the master database, and did it move the files automatically? Did the instance restart
No,
move the files, or how?
no, it's create a new files.
It
It's a
will create a
create
new
whenever
files.
TempDB, yeah, whenever you restart SQL Server, TempDB files will recreate it. So that's mean whatever data in the files, all the data will vanish. Like all the files will, we can also say that delete, and new files will be created in the same location.
Okay, so now we have different locations, right? Old path and new path. So how about old path? Do we need to delete the files manually in the old path?
Yeah, we can delete. We can delete.
Okay,
Let me delete that. So
okay.
we don't use that files.
Yeah, yeah. Because in the scenario, if it is a space issue on the disk drive and all the
Yeah,
things, then we
yeah,
need to delete it, right? We
we
can
can
delete it.
delete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got it. Thanks.
So that's about the file movement. And the second concept, if you clear about this, that's been almost we covered almost all the topics. So the final topic is that linker server creation. So nowadays nobody prefer to use that. We have other different options. For linker servers, mainly we are using to access or executing the query into the different servers, like remotely. For example, if I'm in a node 2 server, node 1 server, I want to execute the queries in the node 3 server. Like through network, using the linker server, we can do the operations on other server. So what kind of scenarios we are using linker server concept? Okay, again, linked server, we have homogeneous and heterogeneous configuration, two different configurations. So homogeneous in the sense SQL to SQL. We configure linked server between the SQL environments. SQL server we can call it as a homogeneous, and we have an option to configure linked server between SQL to Oracle. So this kind of configuration we can call it as a heterogeneous. Okay, what kind of scenarios we'll get request for creating the linked server? For example, we have a production server and we have a development server. For assume that production servers are in different network, and production servers are in different network, and development servers are in different network, and different users using production servers and different users using the development server. Some reasons they want to access the production server by the development users. Okay, in that case, without granting direct access to their network or maybe the particular production server, so what we can do then, we can create a linked server in development server to access the production server. Okay, so when there is a situation to access the other environment servers into the different environment servers, we can create a linked server. The same way applicable for Oracle. So because we can also access the Oracle data into SQL. From SQL, we can also update the Oracle databases and data using SQL to Oracle, SQL to Oracle linked server creation. Okay. So both we can do that. So in this class, I just only show you to configure between SQL to SQL, but I cannot show you how to configure between SQL to Oracle. I have a document, I can share the document, but for configuring SQL to Oracle, what we need to do that we need to install the Oracle binders in the SQL server, and that's mean client tools we need to install. We need to configure the TNS entries, and we need to configure the DSN. So it's a lengthy process to configure to install the Oracle server. But I mean, if you want, I can send the document, but I cannot show you how to configure it on SQL to Oracle. And just nowadays, nobody prefer to configure these linked servers, because we have other third parties, other options to do that. Okay. Let's get started with SQL to SQL linked server creation. So so we are in Node 3 server. I want to access Node 1 server from Node 3 server using SQL to SQL. But doing that one, go to linked server here, go to server objects, and here we can see the linked servers. Right click, new linked server. So server name, linked server name, we need to specify here node 1, and the server name is prod. Okay, in node 1 server we have SQL server. SQL server name is node 1 prod. Okay, and here other data sources, like here we can different providers we can use it. Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL server. Providers means like a connectivity tools, we can say that, like so we can use the different here. If you click that, we can also use the different option. The default one is that Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL server. Okay, and the product name, so that is the SQL server. If it is Oracle, we can specify the Oracle. And data source, so data source name means SQL server name, we can directly specify that. That is node 1 prod. So when it comes to the SQL to Oracle, so we need to configure the DSN. That's mean connectivity connection, maybe connection string we can call it. That connection string we need to specify here. Okay. So this is the, we can ignore that data source name or maybe connection string we can specify for Oracle. If it is equal to SQL, just specify the data source. And catalog is an optional. That's mean if you want to access only specific database, the database name we need to specify it here. Okay. So once update this information, then security. So here we can see the different options. So usually prefer to use the fourth option. Be made using the security context. Okay. Here remote login, password, and username and password. Here in our case, the remote server is node 1 prod. So that is our remote server. That server username password we need to update here. Okay. SCA and then password. If it is SQL to Oracle, Oracle database access entries, access mean username and password we need to enter. Okay, so using this security context, it will connect to the mean SQL mean target. In our case, node 1 prod is the target server. Once update this information, then local information, local servers, if you want to access that information, you need to update. Click add button. So if you click the drop down box, these we are configuring in the local Node 3 SQL Server. So these are the Node 3 SQL Server 2016 security context. Here again, I want to use the SCA or SA, any account you can use it. And again, remote user and remote password. So we can update the same. So remote means remote server. In our case, remote server is node 1. I'm using the same SA account because SA account exists in both the servers. And update the password. That's mean this local account, SA account, will connect the remote server node 1 prod using this remote security context. Once update this information, then the third one is that server object, server options. In the server options, RPC, remote processing calling, something we can call it. This RPC and RPC out. For remote accessing, we have to enable this option and click OK. It is failed. It's So linked server is created, but I think it's created with some errors. Text connect, sorry. Text connection, we can click it whether the connection is establishing successfully or not. Okay, let me try to use the different provider. Okay, let me delete and let me create new linked server, node 1 prod. Let me use the different protocol here, provider, SQL native 1 client 11.0. This is the recommended and latest provider, connectivity provider. Let's try with this one. Product name is SQL Server. The same name. We don't require this one, and the catalog is an optional. Yeah, now this time it's created successfully without errors. Test connection. So because of security reasons, now Microsoft strongly recommended to use I mean the recent connectivity providers. So that is SQL native client 11.0. Sorry, it's yeah 12. That is the recent one. We have to use that one. Okay, so now we can see all the databases here. We can see that. So now we are in Node 3 server, but we can connect to the Node 1 using linked server, and we can see the tables based on the permissions. We can see the all this information. Okay, so this is called linked servers. That's mean through network or remotely we can access the Node 1 prod server in Node 3 server. The same way we can also configure SQL to Oracle, but for configuring SQL to Oracle, so on which SQL server we want to configure linked server for Oracle, on that server we have to configure we need to install the Oracle binaries, or we can call it as a development tools, or maybe binaries we can call it, and then we have to configure the data source connection, and we also update the listener information and the TNS entries, and then we can follow that. Like if it is a Oracle, then we have to specify the Oracle, and then connection string we need to specify that, and Oracle database connecting information we need to update as a remote login, right? So this way we can configure linked servers. So that's for linked server creation. This means we come to the content, like we completed all topic except interview question and answers. So that will cover interview question and answer will cover after completing the security topic. Okay. So very important. Tomorrow freshly we'll start the security, and then after completing the security, then we'll spend on interview questions for backup restore as well as security. Okay. So the backup and restore is very important topic. Taking the backup, restoring, even in the migrations or in the later classes also, in, you're spending much time on backup and restore process. That is the reason these are the core concepts, and we must know that we must have confident about backup and restore. Okay. I hope you understand this topic backup and restore. If you have any doubts, so don't hesitate to ask me. Like if you're practicing, whenever you're practicing, you can also send a WhatsApp message. If I get the time, then definitely I'll reply. Or else you can also ask whenever maybe in the next class also you can ask. Okay, so that's about the backup restore ND. So pending is only the interview question answers that will cover it in after completing the security. And that's all for today, Andy. So we clear, and if everything is fine for now, so then we'll wrap up now, and then we'll catch up on tomorrow, same time at 10 a.m. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Malesh. Very good, interesting lesson today.
Okay. Thank you so much, Andy.